Some of them men think they freak this like we do, but no they don't. Make your check come at the neck. Disrespect us, no they won't. Boy, don't even try to touch it. Boy, this beat is crazy. This is how they made me. Houston, Texas, baby. This goes out to all my girls up in the club, rockin' the ladies. Who will buy it for them shots and get more money later? I think I need a barber. Underneath the play me. I'm so good with this. I remind you I'm so good with this. Boy, I'm just playing. I'm here, baby. Hope you still like me. If you pay me, persuasion can build a nation. Endless power, our love we can devour. You'll do anything for me. Who run the world? Girls. 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 Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run the world? Girls. 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 It's hot up in here, DJ. Don't be scared to run this back. I'm rapping for the girls who taking over the world. Let me raise a glass for the college grads. 41 rolling to let you know what time it is. Check, you can't hold me. I work my 9 to 5, gotta cut my check. This goes up to all the women, get me there. You want your pride, so I'm the man that respect. One, I do, please accept my shine. Boy, I know you love it, how we smart enough to make these millions, strong enough to bear children. Then get back to business. Please, get back to me. Don't come get paid, please. Hope you still like me if you pay me. Persuasion can build a nation. Endless power, our love we can devour. You'll do anything for me. Who run the world? Girls. 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 Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? Who run the world? Girls. Who run the world? Girls. Who run the world? Girls. Who run the world? Who are we? What we want? The world. Who run this mother? Who are we? What we want? The world. Who run this mother? Who are we? What do we run? We run the world. Who run this mother? Who are we? What we run? We run the world. Who run the world, girls? She's just a girl and she's on fire. Hotter than a fantasy, lonely like a highway. She's living in a world and it's on fire, filled with catastrophe, but she knows she can fly away. Oh, she got both feet on the ground and she's burning it down. Oh, she got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Looks like a girl, but she's a flame. So bright she can burn your eyes. Better look the other way. You can try, but you'll never forget her name. She's on top of the world, hottest of the hottest girls. Say, oh, we got our feet on the ground and we're burning it down. Oh, got our head in the clouds she's on fire. They can see the flame that's in her eyes. Watch her and she's lighting up the night. Nobody knows that she's a lonely girl, and it's a lonely world. But she gon' let it burn, baby, burn, baby. This girl is on fire, fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. She's just a girl, but she's on fire.
Welcome, change agents, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to have our amazing Principal Raw introduce you to today's event.
Change agents! Oh my gosh, we are here. We're celebrating Women's History Month. We're celebrating and empowering the love of women all across the world. We had International Women's Day. We're in Women's History Month. We brought it to you. Man, it's amazing. I can't wait for y'all to see this video. I can't wait for y'all to feel the energy, because this is what being a change agent is all about. I want to see in the chat. Are we celebrating women today? Are we celebrating women today in the chat? Give us the best house if we celebrating women today. We got representation with the House of AOC. I see AOC in the building. I see House of Obama in the building. We got two revolutionary women that empowers our house system here at the U. But I got to say this, y'all. I got to say this. It's important during this month as we acknowledge the power of women, not only in our country, but in the world, that we acknowledge the greatness of not those ancestors who set the framework, right? But we acknowledge the women that's in your life today. So I want you in the chat right now, in the chat, I want you to write a name of a powerful woman in your life that has made a significant difference in your life. Put a name right now of someone who has empowered you, that's a woman right now that has motivated you, that has encouraged you, that has given you strength when you felt like giving up. Please put that name of that woman in the chat right now. I want to see the names of women that have empowered you, that have said that they love you, that have been there when no one else felt like they would be there. Put the name of those women in the chat. It could be an aunt. It could be a friend. It could be a cousin. It could be a politician. It could be an artist. It could be a rapper. It could be a teacher. It could be someone, but I want to see, I see Betty Jane Brown. I see Liz Kaysen Taylor, right? I see my mother. I see grandparents. I see women I see you, right? My sister, right? Make sure that you let them know so they can continue to stay encouraged, y'all. It's important for them to stay encouraged. It's important for them to feel that love reciprocated, that transaction still exists of energy, because we live and love off of village energy. I see Miss Lee, Michelle Obama, my grandmother, my daughters, right? That's what it's about. We would not be here today without our students, without our families. I want to give love to all of the U Village. First and foremost, the entire U Village. Give it up for all the teachers, all the staff, all the parents that got us here, all the students. Give it up for yourself. The students, y'all been rocking it. Y'all been booming. Y'all been doing it. I'm going to shut up in a second, but I got to give love to all the teachers, all the parents, all the students who conducted interviews. My goodness, right? Miss Al for orchestrating radical conversations. Can we give it up for Miss Al in the chat, you guys? Give it up for Miss Al because she been tearing it up with radical conversations all last week and this week. So we want to thank Miss Al for making this all possible. Mr. Ferguson for doing what he do best. He make the vision comes to life. But let's also acknowledge the students who took time to interview. But let's give it up. Can we all listen? This would not be possible without the village energy of empowerment and this woman, Miss Ayodele, for making sure that it's believing in Miss Al, Miss Ayodele pushing students, Miss Ayodele going beyond measures to really try to support the program. So give it up for Miss Ayodele. And with that being said, you guys in the chat, let's follow our core values of you respect, you love, you work hard, you follow through, and you get results because it's Women's History Month, and that means we're about to boom. So with no further ado, let's boom. That's it for me. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Al, and I'm the 10th grade English teacher at the U. I believe that the first step to change our world is to engage in tough conversations. That's why students, teachers, and staff have been participating in radical conversations on feminism for the past 2 weeks. These conversations cover topics such as the pink tax, mental health, intersectionality, and so much more. In addition to these conversations, members of the U sat down with one another to talk about their personal relationships with feminism. And I'm so excited to share these conversations with you all today in the following video.
Amen Raw, the founder and principal of University Pathways Public Service Academy, the U. We accept people for their authentic self. We're a small school where everybody feels like somebody, right? And our mascot is called the Change Agents. So as change agent, it is imperative. It is critical for us to work as agents of change so we can fight for equal rights for women. So we can fight for equal rights for our young ladies that's on campus and for our young boys to understand that this is important, right? That as a collective village, it is important for us to fight for equality when it comes to the systems that have oppressed women for years and years and years.
This year at the U, we celebrated Women's History Month differently. Even though we're not all physically together, it's important to celebrate women and recognize the inequalities that women still face today. In order to unpack the things that have been oppressing women for years, our students sat down with mentors and educators to discuss feminism, the importance of Women's History Month, and get advice for themselves as they matriculate through their high school career. One of the questions was about the need for feminism.
So tell us why you think we need feminism.
Why do we need feminism? So, feminism is really just advocating for equity, equality for all genders. And so right now, we don't have that. We don't have that in the workplace. We don't have that in terms of education. We don't have that in terms of safety. So, just so many areas where we need equity. And so that's just the bottom line. We need to have equity.
My name is Asia Williams, and I'm an 11th grader, and I'll be speaking with Ms. Rojas. Ms. Rojas, tell us why you think feminism is important.
Ooh, lots of reasons. I think for a society that doesn't treat women in an equitable way, where we don't make enough or as much money as men do, where sexism still is very pervasive, I think we have to fight sexism through a feminist lens, same way that we would fight racism and be anti-racist. I believe in feminism as the confirmation that women's rights matter.
A lot of people deal with double standard because she's a woman, and I feel like a lot of us women go through that.
Women's history is about remembering what women go through. Dulce, a 10th grader at the U, had a conversation with Miss Kelter to discuss what women's history means.
What does Women History Month mean to you?
Women's History Month means to me a time when we can focus on women that made achievements and made the pathways for us to do what we want to do in our life.
It's important for us to have Women's History Month. It's important for our young people, our families, our teachers, our entire village to come and celebrate, but not only celebrate, but advocate, right? Advocate that this work continues, right? That equality is at the forefront, equity is at the forefront, and it leads to action.
It means that when I hear like Women's History Month, I think about all the females that did something, but they weren't really honored, or like they weren't valued as much. So I guess this month is to honor everyone that has helped you, or to that gave you an example of what strength should be.
I was born in 1961. So America was different then too. Women didn't have all the freedoms yet. You know, the women weren't in all the important positions yet, and they were starting to. I mean, I saw the change. I saw the change for a lot of African Americans. You know, I saw neighborhoods change, you know, demographics change. And I saw women move into, you know, really powerful positions and really do incredible things and have their own businesses. And what's cool now, though, is that all women can do that. And, you know, people just need to really understand that. And
Women could be capable of doing anything women can do.
Ijetta, a 9th grader, had a conversation with Mr. Marquise in the Youth History Department, and the history of women's equity movement came up in the conversation.
Why do you think we need feminism?
You know, in the 1950s and 1960s, you had something called the Civil Rights Movement. And then at a certain point, a lot of Black folks started to see the limitations of the Civil Rights Movement. And then you move into something called the Black Power Movement. One of the things that started to happen is that there were elements of within the Black Power movement that were antagonistic toward women, that were degrading towards women, that there was elements of violence. So you have these people that have a revolutionary mindset, but at the same time, their internal contradictions. So they say, okay, we need to advance society. We need to make life better for Black people. But their internal contradiction is, I think that Black people should be treated better, but I have these issues with women. And so it was women like Angela Davis, women like Elaine Brown, who said, we need Black people need to be revolutionary. We need to empower ourselves. But at the same time, look how women are being treated. And it was through a lot of that work and a lot of that scholarship that a lot of the advances have been made in our society for Black women, you know, in terms of how Black women are viewed, in terms of casting light on issues that affect Black women. So it was specifically because of the work of Black women who were in these radical struggles. It's specifically because of them that a lot of social advances have been made, but also it's because of them that a lot of the issues around women are there, that we're talking about them, right? That it's because of them that we have women's studies. We have, you know, we're talking about feminism.
It is important for not only feminism to be at the forefront, but also Black women, Black feminism to be at the forefront, because we understand history and we understand the systems of oppression. And that's why we must elevate not only feminism, but Black feminism just as much.
What is the difference between Black feminism and feminism?
The difference, there's a huge difference between Black feminism and feminism. Feminism as a whole deals with just every issue that women tend to face in terms of equality. Black feminism is dealing with everything in our community, plus feminism under that general branch. So we tend to deal with more and have to digest more.
In the way that we live as women who go through the world with our experiences as women, it's different. And it's something that needs to be celebrated and something that needs to be continually course corrected. And it's really important. Feminism, I think, just gives me peace. I think it's something that's important.
But it has to do with everyone and everyone understanding the fact that we are all equal.
Yeah, we are all equal, no matter, like, women could do the same things as men can do. Sometimes women can even be better at things that men can do too, Same as men, they could be better at certain things that we can, but we should all just uplift each other.
Mm-hmm. When I was coming up, if you were called a feminist, if you were considered feminist, you were considered to be not a soft woman. You were manly. You were aggressive or overly aggressive, and men were afraid of that, And then there were other women that said, I don't want to associate it with being manly or being aggressive. I want to be a soft, I want to be beautiful. I want to be a woman. And that doesn't have anything to do with feminism.
When you talk about feminism, it's not just about like equity as far as equal rights, but really trying to make up for those gaps that, like, culturally in society we've been conditioned to think that there is this hierarchy of like women based on race and this hierarchy based on gender, and then there's so many different pieces of your identity that intersect that need to be addressed. And so I feel that feminism is a way for us to start leveraging leveling the playing field and making sure that everybody has what they need to be successful in this world.
Why do you feel we need feminism?
First, I'm a feminist. A lot of times people don't understand what the definition of feminism and what a feminist is. And so I'm all about women's rights and equal opportunity. I don't understand why gender should dictate what you should be paid, how you should be viewed, so forth and so on. And so feminism is very important just from a standpoint of why being Black is important. We talked about Black history last month. This month we're talking about women's history. We should be judged based on productivity. We should be judged based on being a human. That's what it's about.
I think it's just a really good month to bring about the awareness and to know that, like, women have been fighting, for a long time to have better lives. And that's really it. Women fighting to have better lives.
That is something that is very important for us to highlight, the contributions of women, and then also think about how we can, like, really start this movement going forward, because there's just so much power, I feel.
As a woman, you have to, like, be strong and, show them this power that they think you don't have.
I think to be able to do that at such a young age is so important, because, like, at least for me, that I doubted myself, and, like, honestly, like, still do doubt myself, I think, a lot. And I'm still, like, learning how to just, like, stand up and be a strong woman.
What advice would you want to tell yourself, your high school self, about being a woman?
Not be afraid to really just be who I am. I would tell myself, like, and tell other young teenagers, it's like, you're only a teenager for so long, right? You're only a teenager for literally 9 years. No, 6 years. Sorry, math. But during that time, it's so precious. Like, you are finding out who you are. You're constructing your identity. And so many different things are influencing that.
Who is the woman that you look up to and why?
Even though it's gonna sound cheesy, and I thought about this question, I really look up to my mom. My mom had me when she was, by, like, Belizean standards, she was really young. She wasn't married, and like it was a whole thing. And I just, like, she basically raised me all on her own. She met my dad, and then she like made a decision with my dad to like move us to the United States, and then how to figure out how to like raise us, work like 24/7 basically, paid for my college, and just, I honestly don't know how she did it.
My mom, I love my mom, and I just remember growing up and wanting to be like my mom. So there are 8 kids in my family, my mom and dad and a dog, and we grew up in Los Angeles. And my mom was not a very talkative person. She wasn't much of a hugger, but you could tell my mom anything, and you knew that she always had your back, you know. And so even I remember one time I was in high school, and my dad was very, very strict, and I had a boyfriend that was going away to college. So I was a cheerleader. So I told my mom that I had to go to cheerleading practice for her cheerleading competition. And I really didn't. I really just was going to go ride to the airport to take him to go to college. So I get back home and I tell my older brother and sister, you know, I went today with Gordon to drop him off, and it was so sad, and I was crying. And my brother and sister got so mad at me, and they said, you better go right now in mom's room and tell her what you did. I would never, ever, ever tell my dad no. But they said, you go in there and you tell our mom right now what you did. So I remember my mom was in the room, she was in the bed. I crawled in the bed next to her, and I'm crying. And I'm like, Mom, I lied to you. I didn't go. And all she said was, you know, don't ever do that again. She said it just like that. Don't ever do that again. You tell me what's going on. I felt so bad. So that's how my mom was. She's always been a giver. She's a wonderful listener. She's a servant leader. And I just look up to her. I even wanted to have as many kids as she did. That's so much. I changed my mind though.
If I really think about like the woman who has, you know, shaped me, it's my mom. You know, it's my mother. You know, she immigrated here when she was 18 years old from the Philippines. She was babysitting during the day, and then going to school to learn typing at night. And then she worked in offices like late at night, and then she was a receptionist, and she really has just sacrificed so much. You know, she had other dreams, you know, when she was younger, but she came here to help family that was here. And then when she had me and my sister, she, you know, and she continues to this day to still work to help us. And so, you know, I give everything to her.
You know, you kind of mentioned your mom often, so I'm gonna say that that's the woman you look up to.
Yeah, definitely. That's the woman I look up to. My mother was the one that she would allow me to go off. And when I say go off, I mean go off. When I was frustrated about something as an adult, she would allow me to go off. And then when I was done, she would say, are you done?
I wanted to share with you someone who is really inspiring in my life, and that is my mom. I think for a lot of us, we can point to our moms as inspiring figures for us in our lives, and to me, that's really telling for the breadth of influence that women have in our society that isn't always recognized, but is always there. And that's definitely something that my mom embodies. When we immigrated to the States, my mom was our main caretaker. And while my dad worked and went to school, my mom found odd jobs that she could do to support our family at daycares, at libraries, wherever she could find work. And she also stayed home and did a lot of duties around our home to ensure that we were safe and taken care of and fed.
It is important as we move forward with feminism, with work, with all the isms, I would say, right? All the isms, but specifically in women's history, feminism, that this work needs to be rooted in anti-racism, because we must decenter supremacy, and specifically white supremacy, when it comes to even fighting within genderism, when it comes to feminism. We have to make sure that it's still rooted in a culturally relevant way, in a way that sticks, in a way that is authentic.
Anything is possible with women. They could do anything. What I mean, anything. Like jobs meant for men, and there you are. There's women doing it. Stronger women. Single mothers doing everything for their child. We could do it.
Throughout this process, I saw an inspiring strength in our students and our faculty. I know that the road to equality may not be easy, but if all of you are walking on that path, anything is possible. Thank you to everyone who helped make our celebration of Women's History Month so great and continue to be about it.
That was an amazing video talking about women that inspire us, presented by a lot of amazing women at the U, and of course, men who also support women. Two of our houses at the U are actually inspired by amazing women who continuously fight for things that benefit all of us. And the other two houses, although they are men-inspired houses, are about men who also really advocate and used to advocate for freedom for all, for equality for all. So we're now going to transition into a celebration of all the success at the U, either by women teachers, women students, or men teachers who have inspired and supported women students.
Awesome. So we're going to bring that support and that energy over. You know, we were celebrating all types of lives, all inspiration figures and everything. And we just want to, you know, close off with, you know, just a little bit right before we go off to spring break to highlight what all the houses have done, all the students, the teachers and everything. And we really just want to celebrate the U and everyone all together. So, awesome. So we're going to do a little bit of like a house celebration. Represent your house in the chat as we're closing off this wonderful Women's History Month. We want to highlight the houses. We wanted, you know, to bring, you know, a little bit of competition, but also want to bring that energy over to, you know, after spring break, let's, you know, keep up the energy. Let's keep it up. Let's go. Let's boom. So we wanted, thanks to Miss Yates, our lovely counselor, you know, feel free to put her in the chat and support all the things that she's doing. She was so great to put this together. We wanted to show off some highest house highlights. And so right now we're doing the highest GPA and we're doing it by the house. And so congratulations to all the students, everyone, even if you are not, you know, in this whole GPA range, you were working hard, you were doing all that you can, and we see you, you are doing your best. We kind of want to show off that, you know, House of Obama was at the kind of the top, showing off that highest GPA, the whole average between the 3.5, 4.0. And then we're following with CAP with 18 students, AOC with 17 students, and Hustle with 16 students. Just want to show a little, you know, friendly competition, but congratulations to the House of Obama, House of Friendship, for showing off like what you've really done in this past year. Your work definitely is being seen, and we know all of you are doing your best. And we know we had a bit, we had our little, you know, 125 day of school, perfect attendance, March Madness event. And so we're trying to highlight that. And these are all the names, you know, congratulations to all these students for, you know, keeping up the good work. Like I said, for everyone else as well, we see you, you're doing your best. We're trying to support you in any best way that we can. So we're going to start off with the highest attendance. So we're kind of do it by the house average. So again, we have first House of Friendship with 22 students. We have a second place tie with Courage and Advocacy. And third place, we got Motivation So congratulations to House of Obama, House of Friendship. You're out here showing off that highest attendance, perfect attendance. And if y'all haven't seen it on our Instagram, Principal Rod did highlight our winner for the $125 gift card prize. We had 79 students, like I said, have perfect attendance. All these change agents were amazing. And the winner is Natalie B. She's the winner of our raffle. So congratulate her in the chat. Congratulate her social media wise. Let her know that she is being seen. And right now, we are going to show off a little bit of video for our student spotlights that have been happening this whole past year.
Absolutely. All of our students have really been rocking it, again, with the support of a lot of inspiring women around their lives. So we're going to go ahead and share with you a couple of our students who have been highlighted just for the amazing work that they continue to do, even though we are doing our school during distance learning.
It's all about the you. It's all about the you. It's all about the you. Yeah, and the wind is talking. Yeah, for the very first time. Well, the melody pulls you towards it, painting pictures of paradise. Saying, rise up to the light in the sky. Watch the light lift your heart up, burn your flame through the night. Whoa, what's happening? We're going to change our lives. We're going to change our lives. We're going to change the world. We're going to change our lives. We're going to change our lives. We're going to change the Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. That's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Hustle and motivate. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. So I took control of things. Rolling the solo way.
Every day is payday. Swipe my card and I do it late night. You're talking to a late day. I want a Kanye, yeah, not the right day. So that's a no-no. I'ma make back and use it over. This combo be like Drake, ayy. I already know what you're trying to say. Say what you about and I see you trying to holler, but that ain't how it's better. Next, looking for the money, cause it's all my mama tell me, so your ass gotta show me some respect. Boss, Michelle Obama, who purse so heavy, get no $5. Boss, Michelle Obama, who purse so heavy, get no $5. Michelle Obama, who purse so heavy, get no $5. Michelle Obama, who purse so heavy, get no $5.
Awesome. So in the chat, if you can let me know what house do you think has the most student spotlights? If you weren't able to tell, it's the House of Obama, a women-inspired house. But the competition continues. We're going to head out onto our spring break, but we hope that you all come back with the same energy. There's still time to keep competing to see who's going to take the house championship. And we just ask that you all continue to thank all the women who have inspired you, who continue to support you, and that we continue to uplift each other. It is true. It is freedom for all. It is equality for all. We hope that today's words by everybody that presented have inspired you to continue uplifting each other and to continue supporting all women. Thank you, Change Agents, for joining us today. We appreciate you, and let's boom.